His suffering is painful to see. And 6-year-old Fadi is growing weaker by the day.
He's a very smart child. He used to say to me, "Mum, I love life and I love to do a lot of activities."
He suffers from cystic fibrosis. And now the widespread hunger rampant across northern Gaza is taking a terrible toll on his tiny, frail body. His mother, unable to find the food or medicines he needs.
Fadi requires a special diet, which we've struggled to provide, making him frequently exhausted. You can't find chicken at all in Gaza. Special milk for him is also hard to find. A doctor managed to give us 2 cans once, which was a joy for Fadi, but he hasn't had any since. Some of the medicines he's supposed to take regularly are not available.
The family are amongst around 300,000 Palestinians left in northern Gaza, the first target of Israel's ferocious assault, where aid convoys have struggled to reach, and much of the population is at risk of famine.
طبعا والله خوف يعني احنا كنا في اي مكان نروح وكنا نخاف يعني فيش مكان في غزة مأمن.
We felt unsafe everywhere we went in Gaza, trying to hide our fear from the children in a place where no safe havens exist.
وصل لمرحلة انه بطل يقدر يقف على رجليه.
Fadi's health has gradually declined to the point where he can't stand on his own, falling if I try to hold him up, so he remains bedridden.
The food and medicine Fadi and others desperately need has to come through here, the Kerem Shalom crossing between Israel and Gaza, one of 2 points that have been used to transfer aid.
Israel's facing criticism even from its closest allies about the amount of aid it's letting through. It's trying to insist it's not to blame for the dire humanitarian situation, though, and that it's the UN and aid agencies who aren't doing enough to distribute this aid after it crosses over into Gaza.
500 trucks a day used to cross into Gaza. Now, with the entire population dependent on aid, it's not even half of that. Israel's defense minister initially boasted there would be no aid until the hostages were returned.
So, good morning, everyone.
Now officials are claiming they're doing all they can.
Israel's accused of using starvation as a weapon of war.
That's completely not true. Completely not true. You are here with me in Kerem Shalom. We are passing every day 250 trucks. The UN can collect just 170. There are more than 300 trucks that are waiting on the Palestinian side of the border. That's the intentional starvation. That's a collapse of logistical operation by the UN.
Why not open up more crossings directly to the north, as you seem to belatedly be doing now, when the situation is really at its most dire, with a quarter of the population a step away from famine?
The trucks are coming through here. We are inspecting the trucks and moving to the Palestinian side. From here, they can go directly to the north.
But you yourself say that the security is so difficult inside Gaza.
It's not so difficult. I've said that there are several incidents, but generally speaking, 170 trucks are moving every day.
This is the hellscape of northern Gaza, where aid needs to be delivered. In Al-Shifa hospital, once decried by Israel, is sitting above Hamas's command and control center. Doctors are again fighting to save lives, but they're in desperate need of supplies.
Infectious diseases are spreading. There are no medications, especially for elderly patients. And due to weakened immune systems, people are contracting the diseases more easily, leading to many deaths. We're also dealing daily with cases of children dying from hunger. The staff here fear for their children. They have to leave their jobs to look for food for them.
We've been told Israel has prevented hundreds of oxygen cylinders from entering Gaza, along with dozens of power generators and other crucial medical items, because they say they could be used by Hamas fighters. But many see Israel's actions as cruel collective punishment, and it's the most vulnerable who are suffering.
Well, that harrowing footage filmed for us by freelance journalists in northern Gaza, because we, of course, are not allowed to go into the territory by Israel or Egypt. However, I'm joined now by the UN humanitarian coordinator, Jamie McGoldrick, who has returned just today from northern Gaza. Tell us a bit about what you saw.
Well, the film shows quite clearly the devastation. It's incredible, the destruction that's taking place. There's hardly a building that stands. Every street's been churned up by military activity. The water sanitation and the electricity have all collapsed. If you look at the hospital, the Shifa hospital there, you go inside that place and you see for yourself the level of destruction that's taking place there and how the doctors are trying to put the place back together again and put a semblance of services up there. And the number of patients you see, ones who have been part of the wounded in the hostilities, but also chronically ill patients who are not getting the service they deserve. And it's a real tragic situation.
And why is so little aid reaching people, particularly in the north of Gaza? Israel, as you heard in that report, says that it's because the UN isn't distributing that aid correctly and efficiently enough.
Well, there are 3 roads that go north from the south where the goods are coming in. We would like more openings in the north so it would be easier to get stuff into the north. So we have to go through the south, which is congested. It's very insecure because people are ransacking the trucks because they're desperate. We're only getting a very little amount of food in there. In fact, we're getting half the amount we used to get back in before. There's no private sector coming in, which is normally the biggest share of the stuff that comes in. And to say that we're not doing what we can, we are filling our warehouses and emptying our warehouses on a daily basis, but there's only 250 trucks come in a day, and there used to be 500 and 600. We can't serve the population that's there, no matter if we use only that checkpoint that's there. We have to expand that.
This maritime corridor that's being established, could that make a big difference on the ground?
Well, I mean, it's not an alternative to the roads. The roads are the only solution to fix this problem. This is an alternative that helps. There's a boat coming in over the weekend with 200 metric tons. That's only 10 trucks. So they're going to have to transfer those boats on the goods on the boats onto trucks anyway and use the roads. So the arteries that's going to affect change and bring about the preventing starvation, possible famine, we have to use the roads.
And what's at stake if that doesn't happen?
Well, what's at stake of that? There's a massive amount of people who are going to really struggle, even further than they are right now. There's a report coming out Monday or Tuesday, which is going to tell us exactly how bad things are. And things have gone, the last time we measured in November, December, there's a massive deterioration, especially in children under 5.
Thank you so much, Jamie McGoldrick, for joining us.